From rubber-faced comedy genius to profound dramatic actor, Jim Carrey once ruled Hollywood. He was the man of 1,000 expressions, the king of box office comedy. But then, almost overnight, he disappeared from the spotlight. Why would a superstar at the top of his game walk away from Hollywood? Today, we are uncovering the real reason Jim Carrey vanished. Born in Newmarket, Ontario, Jim Carrey grew up in a working-class family where comedy was both an escape and survival tool. His wild impressions and manic energy caught attention early. By the late 1980s, Carrey broke through on the sketch show In Living Color. Soon after, the 1990s belonged to him: Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber. Each role louder, crazier, and more successful than the last. Within just a few years, Carrey went from struggling stand-up comic to one of the highest-paid actors in the world. Carrey wasn't just a comedian, he proved he could handle drama too. In The Truman Show, he stunned audiences with vulnerability and depth, earning critical acclaim and a Golden Globe. In Man on the Moon, he embodied Andy Kaufman so fully that the behind-the-scenes footage became a documentary years later. By the early 2000s, Bruce Almighty cemented him as a box office powerhouse, grossing nearly $500 million worldwide. At this point, Jim Carrey was unstoppable, one of the most bankable stars alive. But behind the laughs, cracks began to show. Carrey's later movies didn't always land. Big-budget comedies like The Number 23 and Mr. Popper's Penguins failed to capture the same magic. Audiences began to drift. At the same time, Carrey faced personal struggles, a very public breakup, lawsuits, and heartbreaking loss when his ex-girlfriend passed away. Fame, once intoxicating, was now suffocating. In interviews, Carrey began speaking differently. Instead of promoting films, he questioned the very meaning of fame and identity. At one red carpet event, when asked about fashion, he said, "There is no me, there are only things happening." Many viewers thought he was joking, but Carrey was serious. Hollywood, he explained, had become a shallow machine, and he no longer wanted to play the game. For an industry obsessed with image and ego, Jim Carrey's rejection of celebrity was radical. Slowly, Jim Carrey stopped taking roles. Instead, he devoted himself to painting and political art. His bold, colorful canvases, often satirizing politicians, became his new outlet. He described painting as something that saved his life, a way to channel pain into creativity. For fans, it was jarring. The man who once made millions laugh now spent hours in solitude, painting in his studio. But for Carrey, it was liberation. So what is the real reason Jim Carrey disappeared from Hollywood? In his own words, he no longer needs it. Carrey said he has enough success, enough money, enough fame. What he craves now is peace, authenticity, and purpose. Hollywood thrives on constant output, but Jim Carrey chose something different: freedom. He still takes the occasional project, like the Showtime series Kidding or playing Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog, but only on his own terms. He's no longer chasing box office numbers or critical acclaim. He's chasing meaning. Today, Jim Carrey lives a quieter life in California, painting, writing, and occasionally stepping back into the spotlight when a project excites him. Will he ever return to Hollywood full-time? Probably not. But maybe that's the point. Carrey's story is a reminder. Even at the height of fame, true happiness doesn't come from applause, it comes from knowing who you are beyond the spotlight. One thing's certain: Jim Carrey's legacy as a once-in-a-generation talent is already written in Hollywood history. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments, which actor's disappearance should we cover next?
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.